limitations. I'm not even going to bother going into those because I'm going to recommend that you use the newer method, which is called F strings, not to be confused with the F bomb. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. An F string is actually a good thing, and an F string actually is superior to this because it's less work, less typing. And as a programmer, I'm always here for less work and less typing. Hands down, across the board, universally true. It uses the same kind of formatting as string.format, but it's a lot cleaner because I don't have to have these placeholders and say placeholder equals value, placeholder equals value. I can take my own variables and just inject them directly into the F string. So this is how it would work. I'm going to take this string and I'm going to move it down below my variables because what I want is to define my variables first. So I've got str color is red and str color 2 is blue. So all I'm going to do to change this string into an F string is put the lowercase f right in front of it. Now, right away, what you'll notice when I do that, you'll notice that my placeholders with the little mustaches get highlighted. And they get highlighted in red. Why is it red underlining those? Can anybody decipher why it's underlining those in red? It doesn't like it. It's saying you're going to get an error if you run this code. What's the error? What's the problem? Pay attention to what it's underlining. It's underlining color and color 2. It can't find them. Those variables don't exist because the variables that I made in my program, these were the original placeholder names that I used with string format. But what it's looking for is actual variables that exist in my program. So to fix this, I'm just going to put my actual variable names right in there. See how much cleaner that is? I don't have to write format and then this equals that, a huge list of things. I can just take my variables and put them directly in there. So now when I run this code, boom, works perfect. So if I want to do this in the same way that I would do a Mad Libs program, which is our assignment 2 for this week, all I'm going to have to do now is ask the user to give me those colors. So I'm going to say input, give me a color. And since I'm going to put those in a sentence, right? What's a good thing to do with user input to make sure that there's not extra crap in there? Strip, right? Here's a cool thing I can do with Python because input is a return function, right? It's going to give me something back. When the user types in their response, what data type is that response going to be? It's going to be a string, right? So since that function returns a string, I can tack on a string method right on that function. So I can say strip, just like that. So whatever they type in, it'll take those spaces right off the front and back of it. So I'm going to do another one here, input. Give me another color. And I'm going to say strip again, just to make sure that if they add a space, it doesn't get stuck in my sentence and throw off my spacing. So this simple program mimics on a smaller scale what we're going to be doing with the Mad Libs. You're going to ask the user for input. You're going to put their input into a variable. And then you're going to put that variable into a string using the fstring method. Can you use string.format to do this? Yes. If you like more work, I say go for it. Some people do. That's okay. I'm not judging, but I'm also not going to do that. So some of you might be wondering why at the end of my sentence after the punctuation, I'm adding this little space here. The reason I'm doing that is because what I've learned over the years is that if you don't add that space, it's more likely to be that your users are going to add spaces or do weird things. Because for some reason, nobody likes to type right after this. So when I run this, if I click there, see where the cursor is right next to it? What do you normally do if you're typing a paper and you type this sentence, give me a color, colon? What would you type next? A space. Because you're visually, if you've typed enough papers and things like that, you know that after certain kinds of punctuation, you add a space. And so visually speaking, this is going to make users feel uncomfortable, and it's going to make them want to do this, add a space. So if you don't want them to feel compelled to do that, now we're stripping this, but who knows what they could add? They could add something else entirely. So I like to add a little space at the end of my input prompt. And so when the user clicks down there, now they have a little bit of breathing room. It doesn't make them feel that tension to hit that space bar as much. So if I add a color, it says give me a color, it's running this line, it's waiting for me to provide input. I'm going to type purple. And now purple is what's inside str color in that container. And if I type green, and they give me another color prompt, it will be added to str color 2. And then when I hit enter, it goes to the next line of code, which is line 4 here, where it says my shoes are str color, puts that in. My shirt is str color 2, puts that variable in there, and then it prints it out. This is remarkably similar to the Mad Libs. Okay. So I could take an F string and I could put it in a variable, or I can take an F string and just print it out directly. You can use it either way.